Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I welcome everyone in today's session, and I think there's a bit of echo here. Hare Krishna. So I guess we can see the presentation. All right. Okay, great. So what we'll do, we'll get going, we'll get started, and we are doing the overview of Bhagavad Gita. If you've been here before, we have done the preface, and we have started chapter 1 as well. And this is a hybrid session. Some of the devotees they are here with me, and some of you join online, and of course a lot more there on taking the benefit on YouTube Live. So wherever you are, I welcome you. What we're doing is Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada Ji. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And this is the overview. So within the overview, if you see, we will go through the theme. So we are not going to go to each and every verse of Bhagavad Gita. There are 700 verses and 18 chapters, but we are going to do thematic, systematic study of Bhagavad Gita as it is. Let's do the Mangala Charan, and then we shall resume where we left last time. So feel free to follow me if you like, or just sit back, relax, and listen. This is the Mangala Charan we do at the beginning of all our sessions, and this is a standard Mangala Charan if you attend any of the Hare Krishna ISKCON movement sessions. So, अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानजनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुन् श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथवितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सवादूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधां कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखावितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्तुते तप्तकञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील गुरुदेव महाराज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय जय श्री राधेश्याम। Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. I welcome everyone back again in today's session. So this is a hybrid session, so you will see some of the devotees sitting next to me, and some of you are on Zoom, and many others on live YouTube. This is the philosophical discussion what we're going through, being put together, translated, compiled by Srila Prabhupada Ji. And we have gone through these slides before, hence I'm flickering through. So if you think about it, this is the family. So we have seen the Kuru family. And in this family, we have seen Shantanu, Satyavati. They, of course, on the other side, left-hand side, Ganga and Bhishma as their son, who never got married, never claimed to the throne, but always served whoever sat on the throne. So whoever was the king or the prince, Bhishma, promised that I'm going to serve the kinghood. Then we had Vichitravirya, who had two wives, Ambika, Ambalika, and then from those two, he got further children. He had Dhritarashtra and Pandu. Dhritarashtra, who got married to Gandhari and then had 100 sons and one daughter. So 101 children. And then Pandu got married to two wives, Kunti and Marjorie, and got 5 children. Yudhishthir, Bhishma, Arjun, Nakul, and Sahadev. All 5, they have a bit of ansh of demigods, Devi, Devta, as we call it. So Yudhishthir, Bhishma, Arjun, they were Kunti's children, and Nakul and Sahadev, Madhuri's. And then we had Karan as well. Karan, who was the first child of Kunti, but Kunti wasn't married then. And it was a mantra given to Kunti, and Kunti wanted to test it. So Kunti tested it because she didn't trust that time that I'm just going to recite the mantra and I'm going to get a child. And then, well, actually, she recited the mantra for Suryadev, and Suryadev came. And Suryadev said, "Why did you call me?" And so, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I just wanted to test the mantra. I wasn't sure if the mantra will work." And then Suryadev said that, "Okay, no, that's fine. The mantra works, and I'm going to go. But before I go, you got my presents, and I have to give you something. Ask for something." And she said, "No, I don't want anything. Thank you so much." She was actually a bit afraid at that time. Imagine if Lord Suryadev himself will appear at the front of someone. And then Suryadev said that, "Well, you will get something from me, and that will be my child." And he disappeared. And next moment, Karna was there. And that's why Karna was always considered as Suryaputra, the son of sun. Hence, Karn was the Pandus' Pandav's elder brother, but Karn was given the friendship offer from Duryodhan. So Duryodhan was the friend of Karn, and Karn didn't know that Pandavas are my brother. So Duryodhan was always there with Karn. Karn promised to fight for Duryodhan. And then Yudhishthir, well, all of them, they got married to Draupadi. So one wife, 5 husbands, and that's very unusual. But Arjun also got married to Subhadra, who was the sister of Lord Krishna and Lord Balrama. Now, if you remember in Jagannath Puri in India, in Orissa, we have we say Lord Jagannath, which is Krishna, Balrama, and then Subhadra. So if you see the deities, there are 3 deities, and that's Jagannath, Subhadra, and Baldeva. So that's the 2 brothers and 1 sister. And then Arjun had Abhimanyu from Subhadra. Arjun had Abhimanyu, who was around 16 years old, a great warrior, and who died in Chakravyuh in Mahabharata. So this is what we discussed. Then we did have Abhimanyu got married to Uttara, and before Abhimanyu died from Uttara, Uttara was pregnant with Parikshit. And Parikshit was the only survivor from the whole chart, if you see, after Mahabharat, Parikshit was the only survivor, and Yudhishthir was the king. Then Yudhishthir left, all the Pandavas left, and Parikshit was the only one. Parikshit ruled the earth until Kalyug came. And then Parikshit went down, because as long as Parikshit was there, Kalyug couldn't come. And when Parikshit went down, then Kalyug came. So we have Satyug, then we have Dwapar Yug, where Lord Rama came. Then we had Treta, when all this happened. Lord Krishna was there. And then we had Kali. So Parikshit was the king who let the Kali start. And Kali was supposed to begin, and Parikshit was there. Oh, this was a very, very, very long time. So we say 4,500, well, no, that's 5,500 years back, roughly this happened. But this is what 5,500 years back when Kali started. So Parikshit was there at that time. And when Kali started, Parikshit was there. And everybody was just few years back, everybody just left. And it's very interesting. So Bhagavad Gita, what we are doing now, is a conversation between Krishna and Arjun. And this is what we'll see when we will go further. We saw three different categories, the chapter 18 being split into 6 chapters each, 3 categories, first 6, Karma Yoga, and the last 6, the Gyan Yoga, and then in the middle, Bhakti Yoga. Karma is action, and then Jnana is knowledge, and in the middle, Bhakti is devotion. And that's how we remember and we understand. These are the 4 acharyas. They did the commentary on Bhagavad Gita. And Srila Prabhupada ji, who is the founder Acharya of International Society of Krishna Consciousness, which is ISKCON, he summarized all these 4 commentaries and few more, but prominently these 4. And even from these 4, most prominently from the first one, Srila Baldeva Vidyabhushan. So if you see his commentary and Srila Prabhupada's commentary, that there is a big alignment. But he does include a lot from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakurji, Srila Sridhar Swamiji, and Srimad Ramanujacharya.
Someone is at the driveway.
So someone is at the driveway, but the door is open. So hopefully somebody will get in. Some of the children are going to join us. And so these are the 700 verses we have in Bhagavad Gita. Who said what? How many verses been said? Of course, Lord Krishna said the most. And then we are moving forward. If you see, the very first verse was spoken by Dhritarashtra. And that's it. That was the only first verse. And this is the first verse which we did last time. And we are going to recite today as well. Let the devotees come back and we will recite that verse. Dhritarashtra Vacha. And that's it. That's one verse by Dhritarashtra. Then Sanjay spoke 41 verses. And that was what he could see from others. What he could see from Lord Krishna and Arjun. So Rohan is not around today? He's coming. Oh, he's late. Okay, no worries. Okay, so we got some devotees here, some others are coming. Now this is what we are revising, what we did last time. And so Dhritarashtra spoke one verse, and that was the very first one. And then Sanjay spoke 41 verses. Arjun 84 verses. Most of them were the questions. He was very curious. He wanted to ask a lot of things. And when we will see these, we understand that those questions are like on our behalf. Like we are sitting in a small class, maybe 30 students, and we want to ask something. And before we ask, somebody else ask. Does it happen in the class? Yeah, somebody else would ask and we say, well, I wanted to ask this. Yeah. And that's the beauty. Arjun has asked those questions on behalf of every one of us. And when we see the questions Arjun going to ask, then we say, wow, we are really looking forward for the answers. And then Krishna gives answers to Arjun. Similarly, like in the class, when the teacher gives the answer to one student, that answer is for everyone else. Similarly, when Krishna gives the answer to Arjun, that is not just for Arjun, that's for all of us. So we will go through them. We have seen that 18 verses, 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, they have different verses. The largest chapter is the last chapter, which is going to summarize everything together, and there are 78 verses. Then the second highest is 72 verses, chapter 2. Chapter 2 is also a summary, but before Krishna start is explaining things in detail, what what Krishna does, Krishna summarizes everything in one chapter, in chapter 2. So if you understand chapter 2, we don't really need to go further. But what happens at the end of chapter 2, Arjun asks more questions, and then Krishna says, do you want to know more in detail? Let me start chapter 3. Well, of course, it was just a dialogue. It was just a conversation. So Krishna didn't say, okay, let's close chapter 2 and then we are going to start chapter 3. It was just free flowing conversation. But then when Vedvyas wrote this down, then he split into chapters for our convenience. So we could refer it back, okay, on that chapter, that verse. And then if we go for the smallest chapters, then we have chapter 12 and chapter 15. There are only 20 verses there. So as you can see, some of the chapters 78, 72 verses and others 20, 20. So we do need to understand that different chapters, they have different verses. Now, just to say that just because one chapter is longer than other doesn't really make that chapter more important than others. It's what's there in those chapters. Now, in the chapter 1, we have seen that Arjun has taken Krishna in the middle and he's observing the army. And Dhritarashtra inquired Sanjay, what did they do? What my children and one Pandavas they did, because they are going to have a big fight, big battle there in Kurukshetra. This is Duryodhan asking his teacher that see how he's trying to motivate everyone, and then he's saying that take care of Bhishma, because Bhishma is the one who who got a boon that he will not die, he never got defeated, so he's the one who can make Duryodhan win, and he knows that Bhishma will win, but I will become the king. So he really wants to take care of Bhishma, and he's asking his teacher, who is also fighting on his behalf, because Dronacharya is the teacher, and Dronacharya is his son, who is Ashwathama. Ashwathama is a good friend of Duryodhan, and that's the reason Dhritarashtra, well, Dhritarashtra is the king. That's why Dronacharya is fighting with and on behalf of Duryodhan, even though they know Dronacharya and Bhishma both know very well that Duryodhan is wrong. Duryodhan should not win. But they have promised, circumstances are like that, that they got to fight on behalf of Duryodhan. Then this is Bhishma who blew the conch shell, and this is the beginning of the war. And that's when Lord Krishna comes in, verse 14. And after that, each of the Pandavas, including Krishna's, they have their own conch shell and they're going to blow the conch shell. And they conch shell have names as well. You know, sometimes we have the teddy bears and toys, and we give them the names. I got a new one recently. It's not in my pocket now, it's upstairs, I think. And I've given that name Hari because it's green. Hari is also the name of the Lord. So whenever you call that toy, Hari, where is Hari? You're taking the name of the Lord. And that's why if you're saying in the olden days, all the children, parents used to put their children's name on the name of the Lord. So you're calling their children and you're taking the name of the Lord. So my name is Varun, and Varun is the demigod of water. And then somebody else, a lot of people, they have Ram Prasad, Ram Pal, and they have Ram in the name. So when somebody will call them, they are actually taking the name of the Lord. So from verse 15 to verse 19, and as we said that we are not going to go through each verse, but we are doing theme. So this is a theme that from 15 to 19 the conch shells are blown, and first chapter is actually the introduction, and verse 20 to 26 is when Arjun asks Krishna to to take the chariot between two armies because he would like to see the relatives both sides. So on the left and on the right, wherever he sees, that's his family members. Kuru and the Dhritarashtra children, and on one side his own brothers, and he, because he was married, he had children, he had cousins, he had cousin brothers, then he has nephews, both sides, because they were relatives. So he was very confused. He didn't want to fight. And this is what we will see what happens later. That next, Arjun sees his relatives and he got overwhelmed with compassion. Now Arjun is going to give 5 different reasons why he does not want to fight. He doesn't want to fight the battle at all. And the very first reason he gives is C for compassion. The way we remember C, D, E, F, and I. C, D, E, F, and I. He will say, because of C, D, E, F, I cannot fight. So this is the way to remember all 5 reasons. C for compassion. The very first reason is I have compassion for all these people. I don't want to fight because I love these people. And then what happens? Now here, verse 28 to verse 30th, so 28, 29, 30th, 3 verses, they describe that the physical condition of Arjun. What's happening with Arjun? It says the different body parts of Arjun's, they develop different symptoms, like a sick person. So limbs, his hands and legs, they started shivering. Sometimes it happens when we are either scared or we don't want to do something. Sometimes people say public speaking. If you will call someone on the stage and say, oh, could you say a few words? And the people, they start feeling cold, and it happens sometimes, yeah, even in schools. And then his mouth, and it dries up. We have a lot to say, but whenever teachers say, could you come here and say something? And we say, could someone please fetch me water? And then this is what happening with Arjun as well. Then the whole body started trembling. It started with the hands, limbs, but the whole body started trembling. Then the hair of the body standing on the end, and this is what happened. We get the goosebumps. Sometimes we get shocked and the goosebumps are there. That's another symptom. Then the hands, Gandiva. So if you see in the picture, because he was a big archer, yeah, he was magnificent. He has the bow and arrow. So his bow, the arrows are there at the back, but the bow was there in his hand, and the bow was his bow had a name. The bow was called Gandiva, and so Gandiva, Gandiva, that slipped through from his hands. Now he's a warrior. For a warrior, it's like when we are in the exam about to start, and we got a panic attack, right? And we would like, what is our weapon when we are a student? We would like to write an exam. Our weapon is our pen. Imagine we got so stressed that the pen falls down. Yeah, this is exactly what happening with him. He's about to the battle has just begun, and he needs to start shooting arrows. He needs his bow, Gandiva, but Gandiva fell down, right? Gandiva falls down, and then his skin is burning, which means, like, when people get high temperature. So he's getting that. His legs, he could not stand. He had to sit down, which means he's nowhere near to be able to fight. Hence, what he said in number 8, he said, forgetting myself and mind reeling due to the weakness of heart. So why all that happened? Because his mind was weak. Because our mind is weak, we got the bodily effects. So the body gets affected because of the mind. And this happens a lot of time with us as well. We say if somebody is stressful, that stress will affect them physically. Right? And that's why we say we should not take stress at all. Like if we watch a lot of TV, maybe Netflix or whatever we love to watch, what happens? Our eyes will go down. You know, and our headache. We get headache when we watch a lot. Sometimes we watch children watch on the iPads in the bus or in the car, sitting at the back, because the car is moving, the iPad is moving, the eyes are moving. After a while, the children they don't know, but they got a headache. Right? So mentally, what we think it manifests physically. So this is really bad for someone like him, who is a great warrior, great kshatriya, and he's supposed to fight. But his bow and arrow, his physical condition is nowhere near for the fight. Now what happens? Arjun gives more reasons. So the first reason is C for compassion. Now the another reason is given from verses 31 to 35, and this is chapter 1. And that's verse 31 to 35, enjoyment. What Arjun says, well, like first reason he has given that I have a compassion for all these people, right? But now he says, enjoyment. If I will just kill all of them, if this war will happen, both sides will fight, so many people will die, with whom we will enjoy the kingdom, right? It's like you do the fight. After fight, you won a toy. Sometimes it happens, brothers and sisters, they fight to get the toy. They got the toy, but in order to play the toy, you need two people, right? But you have already fought with your brother or sister. How will you play that game, right? Because in order to win that game, you had to fight with them. After the fight, you won. You got the game, but then you need them to play with them. But because you have defeated them, you can't really win with them. And this is what Arjuna said, that if all these people they will die, but we will become the king, right? We will win, but with whom we will enjoy this kingdom. And this is what where the enjoyment comes in. Then from verse 37 to 43rd, Arjun says destruction of family. Like there are family traditions. Now, traditionally, and even now, most of the time, if you see the people who go and fight in the border, most of the time, majority of the time, they are males, right? They are husbands, they are fathers. They go out and they fight. Even now, if you see the British Army and the military and the Air Force, most of the people are males. And those days, 100% they were males, right? While the mothers will take care at home, the children, father will go out to earn and father will go out to fight. So now what's going to happen if Arjun says if all of them will die or most of them will die, what will happen to their family tradition? Because then for a family to, well, for the children to rise nicely, you need both parents. Because if both parents are there, they can give the family values. Otherwise, single father, single mother, they usually trouble. I remember real example. We sold Shivani's bike to someone, and someone came, a mother came, and a little boy came, and we gave away the cycle, and the little kid was very happy. And then they wanted to, I think, reduce the height of the seat. So I said, okay. Well, my wife said, will you able to do it at home? And she said, well, I'm a single mom. I don't have anyone else at home. And my wife said, okay, no worries. My husband is there. I will call. So then my wife called me. I went and I did it. And then the other woman said that it's really important to have a man at home. Well, of course, I'm not saying it's true for all of the cases, but hey, great. Camera just zooming in and out itself. Yeah. But this is what happened with me, that the lady said that it's good to have a male at home. So this is, mind it, this happened 5,000 years back, and then, as I'm saying, most of the men were there. And but check it out. I think even now in the military and the army, most of the people, majority of them are men, and this is what they say, man or woman. But the thing is, parents are required to raise the family, and this is what he's saying. He's saying the family tradition will go down. We will break the families. If one of the person will die here, who's going to take care of rest of the family at home? So C for compassion, D for destruction of family, and E for enjoyment. So we got C, D, E. C for compassion, because of the compassion, Arjun doesn't want to fight. D for destruction of family, he doesn't want to fight. E for enjoyment, he doesn't want to fight. And the next is fear. What he's saying from verse 36 and then 44 and 45, he says that if I'm going to kill all these people, then I'm going to get the sinful reaction because killing is bad, right? So Arjun thinks enjoying royal happiness is not worth the resulting sinful reaction for destroying the family and killing his superiors. Because minded, his teachers were there. Kripacharya was there, Dronacharya was there, Bhishma was there. And then, of course, a lot more uncles were there who were elder than him. And then youngers as well. He didn't want to fight and kill anyone. He said, if I'm going to kill them, that's very bad. I'm going to get sin. So now he's very fearful. So C for compassion, D for destruction of family tradition, E for enjoyment, and F for fear. So those four reasons Arjun gives, and he says, we cannot fight. We cannot fight. You can decline that later, please. So this is what Arjun said, that I can't do it. So sorry, I can't fight anymore. Now he was very indecisive. Indecisive is where you sometimes it happens, students, they are brilliant, they want to go to the exam, but they have studied so much, they have seen so much, they are afraid, oh, I might get less marks, oh, I might not succeed, I might not get good marks, I might not get in the competition. So this is what happened with Arjun as well. So C, D, E, F, I. I is indecisive. I cannot fight now. So these are the five reasons Arjun gave. And then Arjun is going to sit down. Then this happens in chapter 1. Chapter 1, Arjun already gave five reasons. C, D, E, F, I cannot fight. I'm indecisive. Now, contents of Gita summarized. Now, Krishna is going to very nicely console him, give him the reasons why you should fight. And Arjun did fight afterwards. And then we will see what kind of reasons Krishna gives. And then these answers of Krishna are very important for us. And then obviously later on, Arjun will ask more questions and then Krishna will give more answers. But in chapter 2 itself, very briefly, the rest of the Gita will be summarized here. So usually summary comes at the end, which will be chapter 18. But in chapter 2, in the beginning, summary is also there. Right. So what happens here? So Shivani, can you read that bubble on the left, please? Oh, listen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Okay. How have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all benefiting of a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets, but infamy.
Infamy.
Infamy,
Yeah.
yeah. Do not yield to this degrading impotence. Give up such petty weakness of heart.
Right. Thank you. And Anushka, you can read the bubble at the bottom, what Arjun is thinking.
Sure. To live like beggar than take their lives.
Great. Thank you. So chapter 2 begins with this. Now Arjun just sat down. He just fell down. From verse 2 to 6, first 6 verses of Bhagavad Gita, that Arjun says, so sorry, I can't really do anything, how should I fight with them? And what Krishna says? Krishna says, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You shouldn't feel this way. And then he will, Krishna will elaborate it further. But what basically Krishna is saying is, see, only two things can happen. Now, this is the way we could think. We should think what will happen this way, what will happen that way, right? We should take part. If we will take part in competition, either we will or we will lose. But both way, if we will not take part, we will not get even participation certificate. Yeah, but if we take part, we will at least get participation certificate, and then we got the experience. We can take part again next time. Maybe some of the tests we can, some of the tests we can't, but at least we got the experience that we have taken part in it. Right? So it's very important to take part in it, whether we win or not, because not everybody who is going to take part going to win. Definitely, only few people going to win. Number one, two, three, or so. Yeah, so participation is important. What Krishna says to Arjun, the Arjun, remember, if you will die in this battle, if you die, what will happen? You are a Kshatriya, you are a fighter. You fought this for a good reason. Hence, after your death, you will go to higher planet. So you should fight. And if you will win, so if you will fight, you will either win or lose. If you lose, you fight and you lose, then you will go to higher planets, and we will discuss later what are higher planets. But let's say if you will go to heavens. If you will fight and if you will lose, then what will happen? If you will fight and you will lose, no, sorry, that's what we have discussed. If you fight and if you will lose, then of course you die. Loses, you die, and then you go to heavens, higher planets. But if you fight and you win, then what happens? Then this kingdom will be yours, right? You can, it's not about the enjoyment. You can create such a nice environment. You can rule over the kingdom, so everybody will be happy, because currently Duryodhan and Dhritarashtra, they are not nice king and princess. So the kingdom is not happy. So if you will win, you can establish religion. So you will be a perfect leader. So fight. If you will not win, you will die, you will go to heavens, higher planet. If you will fight and you will win, then you will establish religion. So everybody will be happy. Now the other side could be, if you will not fight, this is what Arjun is saying, I can't fight. So if you will not fight, what will happen? Everybody will disrespect you. So what Krishna says, that but to infamy is like you will not be famous anymore, or you will be famous for wrong reasons. People will say, oh, this is Arjun who didn't fight, this is Arjun when we needed him, you know because the Duryodhan was doing a lot of bad things, and everybody wanted Duryodhan to step down as a prince and Yudhishthir to become the king, and Arjun is going to fight for his brother. So if Arjun will fight, Yudhishthir will become king, everybody will be happy. But if Arjun will not fight, Yudhishthir will not become the king, then people are still miserable because Duryodhana is still going to rule them. So that's why Krishna says, if you will not fight and if you will run away, people are going to laugh at you. You're going to be infamous for wrong reasons. And people will disrespect you. You are a warrior. Everybody knows you because of a warrior. If a warrior will run away from a war, then nobody will class you as a warrior anymore. And then you will be nothing because you are only warrior. So you should fight. So now what happened? Chapter 2, verse 7 is very important. And this is the time when we recite the verses. So if we pick Bhagavad Gita, and we will pick, so we recited one verse last time, which was chapter 1, verse 1. But today we are going to recite chapter 2, verse 7. Because this is the verse when Arjun surrendered to Krishna. So far, Arjun was giving reasons to Krishna. Arjun was giving reasons to Krishna, saying that, oh, I don't want to fight because of compassion, because of enjoyment, because of destruction of family tradition, because of the fear of sinful reaction. Oh, I'm indecisive. I should not fight. I would rather become a beggar. This is what Arjun keeps saying. But now verse 7 is the very first verse where Arjun surrenders to Krishna, which means Arjun says, Krishna, I would like to listen to you. So have you found... okay, I have a different version of Bhagavad Gita. Well, I said a different version. It's actually... yeah. Shiva, have you found?
Nothing.
No?
I
Okay. Wait, what?
Wait, is it this one?
No, this is chapter 7. Yes, very good. What the number is?
86.
86, please. Yeah. So let's recite this. And okay, once we have found it, yeah. If we go back one page and we can see the Sanskrit or English, both of them. Yeah, we are going to recite it. Shiva remembers this word, I guess. We will say, so first let me do it and then you can recite it afterwards. Karpanya doshopatah sabhava prachami tvam dharma samura cheta yachresham nishchitam brui tanme shishyastayam shadivam tum papannam. Thank you. So this is the Sanskrit, and let's recite two more times. And Anushka, you can join us this time. So let's do second time. Karpanya dosha patah sabhava pachami tvam dharma samuna cheta yashchesham nishchitam brui tanme shishyasте shadi mam tvam papannam. One more time. Karpanya dosho patah sabhava prachami tvam dharma samuna cheta yachresham nishchitam brui tanme shishyasте shadi mam tvam papannam. Or which one of you would like to read what it says? It's there, the translation is there, or you can read from the screen or from the Bhagavad Gita. Anyone? Volunteer? Any one of you two, please?
Yeah.
Yep.
Now I'm confused about my duty and I have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered to you. Please instruct me.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So this is what Arjun is saying now. Now I'm confused about my duty and I have lost all composure because of the miserly weakness. It's like I'm weak. I can't think. Krishna, please help me. This is the very first verse, 2.7, chapter 2, verse 7. This is the very first verse when Arjun has surrendered to Krishna. Arjun has said to Krishna, Krishna, I need help. And the good teachers, they listen until the other person requests for the instructions. But a lot of time you will see a lot of people would like to give you the advices. But good teachers, they don't give you the advices until unless you ask. They will be good listeners. You go to them, tell them whatever you think, and they will wait. And then they might ask you, do you want to hear my opinion? And when you say, yes, 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 please, I want to have some instructions from you, then they speak. And this is a great lesson we can learn from Bhagavad Gita, from Krishna. And then in this condition, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. So very clearly, Arjuna said that I want to hear from you. Now I'm your disciple. Disciple is like a student. I'm your student now. He's Arjun, remember, Krishna's sister Subhadra is Arjun's wife. So Krishna is Arjun's cousin brother and also brother-in-law. But now he's saying, I'm your disciple, I'm your student, and a soul surrender unto me, please instruct me. And then now Bhagavad Gita starts. Bhagavad Gita is Song of God. And the God is Krishna, and Krishna is going to start singing now. Right, okay. So we will see very first teaching, and again, not going by verse to verse, but okay, we can actually recite this verse as well. This is a beautiful verse. This is chapter 2, verse 13. But now the very first knowledge, and I will just introduce this now, and then we will discuss this next week. But contemplate the whole week on this. What the very first thing Krishna says? Krishna says, you're fearful of killing these people. But what are these people? Do you consider these people as bodies or soul? Remember, unfortunately, a good friend of mine lost his father recently. So he called me, he invited me, so I went there. And his father's body was there. We call it dead body. Once the person is dead, it's a dead body, right? It's not a father anymore. It's just the dead body. But the body is there. We call it dead body. What's gone? What's missing now? We consider the soul is gone, right? So in our body, there is consciousness, and the body is matter. This body is matter. Matter is like we have a pen, we have a book, we have a table, we have a chair, we have a laptop. It's all matter. In physics, we learn matter. In science, we learn matter. Matter doesn't have any consciousness. Matter cannot think, but we can think. But body is matter, which means there is something else in us. So now see, if you will show me your hand. So this is your hand, right? This is your left hand or right hand? I like it, the way you looked at it. Which one are you? Like hand is going to talk to you. Okay, good. See, this is your hand. This is not you. Is this you? No, this is your hand. Like this is your book. This is your spec, right? This is my kurta. This is my pajama. This is my dress. This is not me. This is mine. Similarly, this body is not me. This body is mine. And this is the very first thing Krishna is explaining. And this is probably the most important thing if we need to remember. From Bhagavad Gita, the very first learning Krishna has given to Arjun, right at the heart of it. If you don't remember anything else, just remember this. What did we learn from Bhagavad Gita today? That we are not this body. This body is mine, right? Now, the way we can remember is the car is outside, standing, sitting, laying down on the driveway. Yeah, the car is there. Car is parked at drive. The body is like the car. Car will not drive itself. Car needs a driver, right? The driver is the soul. Driver is the consciousness. As long as the driver is inside the body can move, body can work, body can think. And we will go into detail where the mind comes in, what is thinking in us. But we have a body and we have a soul. Soul is like a driver, body is like a vehicle, like a car. So without the soul, without the driver, the car cannot drive itself. Of course, we have self driving cars these days. But we are talking about the traditional cars where the driver is the soul and the body is the car, right? If the driver is not there, the car will not move. The soul is gone, the body is dead body. Hence, the very first thing we say, oh, this person is unconscious. Remember, somebody knocks down, what happened? The person is unconscious. If you call A&E, oh, something happened to this person. Oh, very first thing they ask, is the person conscious? Which means, is the person responding to you? What happened? We say, at that moment, the person's consciousness is kind of gone. And the person is lying down like a dead body. Yeah? If you poke somebody with knife, if the person is really, don't do it, but if the person is really unconscious, person will not respond back. Of course, there are many different kind of consciousness. like when we sleep. If we sleep, we're kind of unconscious, right? But when we sleep, we might be dreaming and we might be in deep sleep. And there are different phases of sleep as well. So sleep, then we are unconscious. Again, how much, whether we are in deep sleep, because sometimes you call someone and the person might respond back and you say, well, I thought you were sleeping. And the person will say, well, I was also thinking I was sleeping. But when you called me, I could hear it because the person was not in deep sleep. But when the person is in deep sleep, then you try to wake up the person. Person will not wake up so quickly. Person, you might keep, this happens to us every day. You keep shouting, Wake up, it's a school time. You know this. No. Then you physically move the person. You have to move the car. So the driver sleeping inside will wake up. Oh yeah, what happened? But well, it's not entirely like that. But yes, we can understand. So what Krishna is saying in this verse, and I will recite this verse, but we will come back on this verse next time. And what we will do, we will kind of recite the old verses as well in each class. So we will have the practice of reciting the old verses. So like Dhritarashtra Vacha, we will recite that verse. Then this verse we just recited 2.7, which is Karpanya doshopahatah sabhava. And then 2.13, which is this verse, Dehino asmi yatha dehe komaram yovanam jara tatha dehantara prapte dhiras tatra namoyati. Now these verses, they are like, there are 40, 50 verses like in Bhagavad Gita. When we will go through, we will recite in Sanskrit and we will recite them every time. So out of 700 verses, at least you will know 40, 50 verses. And if you recite every time, you can recite them every day. We do recite them every day in the morning. Before we go to school, we recite them. And this way, we will at least know 40, 50, which is what? Which is like 5% of Bhagavad Gita. If there are 700 verses, 70 is the 10%, 40, 50 will be a bit more, but let's say 35 is the 5%. So just a bit more than 5%, we will at least remember. So if nothing else, we will remember these verses. But the knowledge of the soul, that the body is matter, body is actually dead until and unless the soul is there. This is the biggest revelation for Arjun. Arjun said, wow, I didn't know. Wow, he didn't say like that. He was still crying. And then Arjun is going to explain him further that what happens, what are you doing there, here, and everywhere. Right. Well, I will stop here. Any questions on any things, anyone online? Anything what we have discussed today? So we have done a bit of revision, and next time we will start straight from chapter 2. So we discussed today the 5 reasons why Arjun doesn't want to fight. Arjun says, so remember C, D, E, F, and then I. So Arjun said, because of compassion. The C, because of destruction of family tradition. D, because of enjoyment. E, and because of the fear of sinful reaction. F, I am indecisive. I can't fight. So 5 reasons. Go home and ask your parents, do you know why? Everybody would know, well, most of the parents hopefully know that in Bhagavad Gita, it starts where Arjun says to Krishna, Krishna, I cannot fight. And then Krishna gives the wisdom. It's very important to understand Krishna didn't give any technical knowledge to Arjun because when you fight, you need the technical knowledge. All the archery Arjun learned from Dronacharya years ago in the childhood. So he had all the experience, he had all the knowledge. So he didn't learn any of those from Krishna. He learned the wisdom from Krishna. So Arjun learned wisdom from Krishna, and this is what we are going to learn. After Bhagavad Gita, we are going to become wise. We are not going to become great archers like Arjun, right? Just to set the expectations. What are we going to get out of Bhagavad Gita? When we go to the maths teacher, we should understand we are going to learn maths, not English. So when we are in these sessions, we are learning Bhagavad Gita. We are not going to become a great warrior like Arjun in archery, but we are going to become a very wise person like Arjun who knew how to make the decisions. Right? So we learned the 5 reasons why Arjun doesn't want to fight. And then 2.7 is the first time when Arjun said, I want to surrender unto you. I don't want to fight. So sorry. And then Krishna starts Bhagavad Gita from verse 1, the very first verse, and we will start from this verse next week. So thank you so much for everyone's presence. Again, if we have any questions or any discussions or any realizations, anything you liked, anything you didn't like, Or maybe we can go around. At least those two. There are few who are missing. It's interesting. The girls are here and both boys are missing. There are two boys missing. And actually, there are two more girls supposed to be here. Hopefully, next time they will be. We will see. Yeah, next Sunday will be interesting. So, yeah.
We're just
Any
waffling now.
any one thing, just to finish up, any one thing you would like to say, anything you would like to take away from today's session?
I can't really hear you.
Okay, Shivani said I knew everything. Or she has been coming to these sessions for a long time. But anything you think, oh, this is interesting actually.
I think it's interesting that when the cycle of life, the soul doesn't remember your previous life.
Okay, great point. We will discuss that in
Yeah.
more detail next time. Yeah. So Shivani says that it's interesting that the soul does not remember the previous birth. And this is a big, massive question a lot of people ask, that why don't we remember previous birth? And we will discuss why we don't remember it. It's a great boon that we don't remember. Anushka, anything you would like to take away with you? Anything? No, she doesn't want to take away anything. Anything you've found interesting, or any one thing, if somebody will ask, what did you get from these? What did you do today? What did you learn? What did you discuss? Any one thing. Could be more.
I was surprised that like it would be okay to kill like family if
Yeah, very good question. That she's surprised, and we all are. That and this is another question. A lot of people say that. So a good friend of mine now, but he said, if you see Bhagavad Gita, the very first at the front it says, it's a warrior. The warriors are there, Krishna and Arjun, and it's in the middle of battlefield. So people are going to die. So my friend who is not Hindu, so he's not from this religion, and he said, well, what is Bhagavad Gita? Is it a book of fighting where the cousins are killing each other? And I said, well, yeah, that's true. But there is a lot more wisdom in it. It's one of those that, let's say we have parents at home, we might have grandparents, we might have siblings, we might have children. If any one of them did something wrong and police comes around, what would you do? Will you hide that person, or will you say, yeah, let me call my brother? I have been waiting for this moment all my life. Well, the point is that yeah, it's not a good thing to kill and fight with your brothers and siblings. But what Krishna is going to explain later, that even if someone who is close to your heart, who is your family, but someone has done wrong, then rather than taking side of your family member, you should take the side of good deed. If it's a good thing, we should support that, even if our family member has done now. So that's the understanding, but we will discuss that in more detail. But great point. Thank you so much. So both of you have raised a great point. Anybody online would like to say? I don't see anything in the chat. So great. Thank you so much. With that, we will close today and look forward to see everyone. Remember to read a bit and come back next time with more realization, more you read at home, because we just do 1 hour here, but you have so many hours at home. Even if before you go to bed, even if you read one verse a day, then remember in 2 years we can finish 700 verses, hopefully sooner than that. So thank you so much for your presence today. With that, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev Maharaj ki jai, jai jai Shri Radhe Shyam, Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone, and thank you everyone who joined us online. I'm going to close the meeting today and look forward to see you next time. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.